Are you grinding hard to hit your ranked goals before 7.5 gets released and you just aren't climbing? Here's 5 common mistakes players make and how to fix them. You don't know when to roll down for units. A lot of beginning players tend to spend gold wildly, looking for units to win games with, but TFT has a standard carry playstyle. The 4-cost carry method is the bread and butter of TFT. Let's break it down further and keep things really simple. So in beginning stage 3, you want to be level 6. Beginning stage 4, you want to be level 7. Beginning stage 5, you want to be level 8. Now you can level up a little bit ahead of time if you have the excess gold, but generally, from the point of stage 3 onwards, you want to gain at least 1 level per stage. In this clip, I waited for after Dragon Shrine to roll down, since I was looking for a component I wanted to have gold to make sure I secured my last carry item. Now I roll down here to hit my carry, Xayah 2-star. I was also looking for a late game frontline like Hecarim or Ornn, as well as hopefully a lucky Shyvana, which I managed to find. It's okay to roll down to 0 gold if you have to. Since this is your endgame board, you won't need more gold to level until you find your main carry and tank units. Once you find your late game units, you can move on to level 9. Mistake number 2, you aren't hitting your carries consistently. Whether playing for any carry cost of 1 to 5, there is a specific level when you want to be rolling down for it. To break it down simply, here are the best levels to be rolling down for each specific cost carry. For 1 cost units, roll at 5, 2 cost at 6, 3 cost at 7, 4 cost at 8 as we mentioned earlier, and then 5 cost at 9. Simple enough to understand, right? Now if you're playing with a carry that costs 1 through 3, then you will want to 3-star them to get the most out of it. This is where it gets a little tougher. The best way to do this is to slow roll your gold while you're looking for the unit. To slow roll, you spend your gold above 50 on rolling down until you reach 50 gold. Let's check out this clip where I'm playing Volibear. See how I'm slow rolling my gold while looking for my carry? I'm not going below 50 gold. You do this to maintain maximum interest. Once you have 7 to 8 copies, you can roll down all the way until you hit. If we look at my bench, now I have enough copies to go for it, but I held off until after Dragon Shrine round to secure my Volibear's 3rd item. This slow roll tactic is also applied to 1 and 2 cost carries. Mistake number 3, you aren't slamming high value items. This one is pretty simple. The items you slam are either weak or don't have high value late game. Let's break down which items are great to slam early and which ones you want to avoid. For DPS, Ginsu's Rageblade and Shiv are awesome slams. For AP picks, Archangel Staff and Shojin are also really good. In this clip, I didn't love my augments. My initial thought was to go with Living Forge for multiple items throughout the game, but Sharpshooter Crown has Ginsu's, Varus, and a Sharpshooter emblem, so choosing it gives me an early game comp shell that I can play around, and I can always pivot later in the game. Some items you want to avoid slamming early would be something like Last Whispers, Rudin's Hurricane, QSS, Deathcap, or Jeweled Gauntlet. These items are niche and are only best in slot for specific carries. Slamming them early either limits your flexibility or makes your carries options very suboptimal. For tanks, Sunfire Cape or Gargoyle Stoneplate are both amazing early items. Slamming them early can lead to win streaks, since tank stats are very strong in the early game. Tank items you want to avoid slamming are things like Bramble Vest and Dragon's Claw, as well as Warmogs, and the reason is because Warmogs needs a 2nd item for maximum value, and Bramble and Dragon's Claw are only strong into specific enemy boards, so you want to max out their value by waiting until you know what enemies are going to play and then slamming them. A 4th major mistake I see in games, you don't position well and you don't scout. Positioning is one of the core mechanics of the game, and scouting is one of the fundamentals to strong positioning. It's important to make a mental note of which units enemies are playing and how to best avoid any stuns, ults, or damage from being hit on your main units. In situations where the enemy threats are spread all over the board, it's best to prioritize enemies with a lead over you who you may be up to fight soon. Now let's take a look at how I position to fight Siphon. You want to make sure your main carry is on the opposite end of the dragon. Next, place your main tank right in front of it and have a bait unit stand just within dash range. You want Siphon to dash to the bait unit and away from your enemy carry. It's harder than it looks since Siphon can be a bit unpredictable. One way to almost guarantee it works is to have most of your units on the Siphon side, only using the bare minimum to protect your carry. This can be dangerous, but it does work. The 5th mistake is that you don't play enough comps and you don't play flexible. As you climb, it becomes more difficult to only play 1 comp. Luckily, this is an easy fix. My rule of thumb is to have at least 1 AP comp, 1 AD comp, and 1 backup. This way, you always have options. As you gain more game knowledge, you want to add more comps into your arsenal. In TFT, knowledge is literally power. The more you know, the better the player that you will be. For more tips on how to play flexible, check out my flex guide by clicking the banner at the top right now. Hope this helps in your climb. Until next time, I'm Swagadelic.